is healthcare dead now that Scott Brown has been elected and Democrats no longer have a supermajority in the Senate? For the moment being, my answer is going to have to be absolutely. Okay, so why? In the beginning, in fact, all the way up until yesterday, we were talking about, well, even if Brown wins, we could still pass it because we got about 2 weeks before he gets seated. If we drag our heels a little bit and say, all right, you know what, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Just calm down, okay? It's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to be 2 weeks. That's perfectly normal, okay? And then in that 2 weeks, the House progressives completely cave in and say, okay, we'll take the Senate version. Fine, you win. No amendments. And they jam that through. Honestly, yesterday, I thought that was the most likely possibility, okay? Because when confronted with two options, Democrats usually choose the option of buckling, right? But I hadn't anticipated that they would do a more thorough buckle, that it was just a total buckle to the Republicans. Forget the Senate version, forget the House version. They got browbeat by Republicans saying, no, you have to seat them right away. Or as my dad would say, right away. And you know what? That's not so wrong, okay? A guy won an election. He's got to go take his seat. If you didn't want that to happen, you shouldn't have lost the election, right? Now, if they had done it in the 2 weeks that they have there, I think that would have been perfectly normal politics. But today we find out that they are absolutely not going to go in that direction because President Obama said, we're not going to jam this through. I have that for you in a little bit. Harry Reid came out and said, no, we're putting the brakes on, and we're not going to proceed in that way. The people have spoken. We're going to listen to the people of Massachusetts. We're going to sit Brown in his seat first, and then we will take votes. So not going to happen. Now, there's the beginnings of talk of reconciliation, okay, meaning that we don't need to get 60 votes. We only need to get 51 votes if we go in that route. Now, that has its upsides and its downsides, but it's a smattering now. They just smattered it like on a salad or something, a little Parmesan cheese. We haven't gotten to the main meal yet. It's not even close. Now, but the more important question about the entree, the main meal is, are we even going to talk about health care from now on? I mean, that's how serious it is. Because, look, they say, okay, we're not going to jam it through. The House is not just going to take the Senate version. So this version of health care that needed the 60 votes and that barely had the 60 votes in the Senate, well, it's gone because it no longer has 60 votes. And if it doesn't have 60 votes, then you're going to go in a different direction. You're going to either make it even weaker and try to get a Republican to sign on. Well, it's not this version. It's a ridiculously, pathetically weak version, which I would be totally against, okay? But it doesn't matter. I don't think they're going in that direction. Or you say, well, look, if I only need 51 senators, I got plenty of senators that are going to sign on to a stronger bill. Okay, then it'll get stronger. But option number 3 is the more likely one, where the Democrats have been badly burned, and they will now backpedal, and get the hell out of there. Healthcare reform. It appears for the moment being, I got to do it hate to do that, man. But right now, it's gonzo. So, now that leads, of course, to the question of how are the Democrats going to react to this? Because whether health care comes back, what they do with finance reform, what they do with climate change, what they do with everything going forward for the next year till the elections come up, the midterm elections, and for the next 3 years of Obama's presidency, it turns on which direction Obama decides to go now. Because this was an unquestionable wake-up call. Anyone who thinks, oh, no, but in New Jersey this happened, but on the other hand, in Massachusetts that happened, but wait a minute, in Virginia something else happened. Oh, come on, you're kidding yourself, okay? 3 states and you're out. Before, you could have said, hey, you know what? Maybe they didn't like Corzine in New Jersey, and maybe in Virginia they were leaning conservative anyway. There's no excuse for Massachusetts. And, I've described this before. It's like Norv Turner. Nate Kading could miss 1 field goal for a good coach, maybe even 2 field goals. But if he misses 3 field goals, an excellent field goal kicker, that means his coach sucks. I know it's a crazy analogy, okay? And I know it's a bit of a stretch, and not a lot of people agree with that particular analogy. All right, you know what? You want one? I'll give you another analogy. Here was my dad's thoughts on whether he should keep a worker. Now, my dad's, he's a tough guy, okay, in some ways. And I used to work in construction for him. So what he would do is he'd go and do his work somewhere else, and then he'd come back in and burst in, right, to see if everybody was working. He'd come in, right? And he'd be like, okay. If he caught you goofing off the first time, well, that could happen. You were tired, you needed a coffee break, whatever. If he caught you goofing the second time, you were on thin ice. You were pretty much on your last legs. If on the third time he burst into the door, you're like, oh, gonzo. Okay, you're done. Okay, move a little along. Okay. You know what my dad would do? He would fire you right away. Okay, so no discussion. So now, look, I think people are familiar with the 3 strikes and you're out concept, and that's what's happened here. So no question that people are dissatisfied with the way that the Democrats have gone. If you lose the bluest seat in the country, and that was Ted Kennedy's seat in Massachusetts, well, obviously people are dissatisfied. So now there are 2 possibilities as to the conclusions that the Democrats can draw from this election. So are they going to think that the people are dissatisfied because the Democrats were too liberal, and hence they've got to go further right, they got to try to appear to be more centrist or moderate, in reality in this day and age corporatist, and I'll explain that in a second. Or are they going to say, hey, you know what, listen, man, we tried this bipartisan stuff, and we tried to play patty cakes, for a whole year. And in return, we got, on regular occasions, 0 votes from the Republicans. We didn't get anything from the Republicans, and we had to pull teeth to get conservative Democrats, right? So no more Mr. Nice Guy. Take off the gloves, throw them on the ground, and go, here's your bipartisanship. Bring it. Okay. Now, knowing the Democrats, I think a lot of us are now thinking, oh, come on. What are the chances they're going to route number 2? Almost none, right? Now, but there is some hope, and I'm going to explain to you why. Look, route number 1 is already being advocated by everybody under the moon, right? Evan Bayh comes out and says, oh my God, we got to go right. We got to go. We have to be more like the Republicans. What are we doing? You know, he's already like the Republicans. He's a conservative Democrat from Indiana who loves corporate America. There isn't a thing that a lobbyist has said in Washington that Evan Bayh has disagreed with, okay? So that already serves his agenda. Lieberman's out there. We got clips for you later. He's like, oh, we got to go right. We got to go right. We got to go more towards the Republicans. And you know how Washington is. The right-wing media is saying that, so that's quickly becoming conventional wisdom that, my God, you have to panic and go more to the right wing. Now, option number 2 is being advocated, of course, by progressives, Howard Dean, us, and the list goes on. Now, mainly online, you know, people who get it, who are following politics. Now, so you say, oh, that group has no chance. When's the last time a group led by Howard Dean changed conventional wisdom in Washington, D.C.? No, he's right. So conventional wisdom in D.C. would never agree with him, right? So, and of course, not just Howard Dean. So why do I have any degree of hope in that second round where we throw down the gloves and go, let's get to work? It's because we have seen that Obama is a great politician in the past. Now, in this last year, I think he lost track of that. He got comfortable, and he got a little Mike Shanahan. I'll throw another football analogy at you. Mike Shanahan won a couple of Super Bowls when he had Terrell Davis, John Elway, and a great offensive line. The situation was perfect for him to win those Super Bowls, and he did. Credit where credit is due. But afterwards, Shanahan became convinced that he was the smartest man in the world. And he thought, oh, I get clever, man. I could take a guy off the street that I saw at Subway and have him start a tailback, and I could still win because I'm a genius. Well, it turns out Shanahan wasn't that much of a genius, and he went on to lose many, many, many seasons in a row. And if you fail that much, guess what happens? Of course, you get rewarded in Washington. So he's now head coach of the Washington Redskins. Perfect. Okay, so now Obama got a little like Shanahan, and he's like, oh, man, I got this thing figured out, man. I'm going to do it my way. We're going to get that lobbyist money like Rahm Emanuel says. We're going to get head in that direction. Now, he's been disabused of that notion because of these 3 elections. So will Obama's smart political instincts kick in now? They don't kick in now. I'm not sure they're ever going to kick in, and he's in for a world of trouble, okay? But he could look at the political landscape, which he's good at, we think, and go, oh, right. I ran the whole campaign on people versus power, that we were going to do change, that we were going to, challenge the establishment. And maybe these people aren't voting for us anymore because we didn't do that. Just maybe. Now, Rahm Emanuel will counsel against that. That's his chief of staff. Of course, the entire Treasury Department will counsel against that. No. Still given to the bankers, etc. Tim Kaine at the DNC will counsel against that. And now these are all handpicked by Obama. These are his main guys. He loves Tim Kaine. He loves Rahm Emanuel. He loves Tim Geithner. So don't get too hopeful, okay? I'm just saying it's a smidgen of hope that he's still politically savvy. There is some chance that he goes, oh, right, that was wrong. Let's recalibrate because now it's our ass on the line, okay? So let's recalibrate and go forward and punch these guys in the mouth and give people the change that they voted for and that they continue to vote for. That is our hope.